Hi, my name is Miranda, and I'm going to talk to you about conflict within your interpersonal relationships. But first, I would like to say that in your life, you will have many friendships, some of which will have their ups and downs. Um, have you ever been in a friendship in where it was hard for you to come and fully disclose everything with one of your best friends? Well, according to an article at Stanford, friendship is a distinctively personal relationship that is grounded in a concern on the part of each friend for the welfare of the other, for the other's sake, and that involves some degree of intimacy. Out of this presentation, I hope that you can recognize how communication affects conflict, um, ways to resolve conflict within your personal relationships, and how trust plays a role with communication. I have decided to improve my communication skills with my best friend Domani. I met her my junior year of high school, so we've been friends for almost 4 years now. And we met by just sitting in the cafeteria at lunch together because we had the same group of friends. And we started talking, we had a lot in common. Um, we even acted the same way according to some of our friends, and so that's when our relationship kind of just took off. But the one thing that we had a problem with was trust, with telling each other things. Um, she would always confide in one of her friends, and then I would get jealous, but then I would do the same thing to her, so that would always cause an argument in our friendship. Like I previously said, we had problems trusting each other with and disclosing things to each other that were very personal to our lives. So um, even within our close friendship, I realized that we were never going to be able to fully disclose with each other. So talking about our feelings has always been a problem for us, but it was more difficult for me because um, just had recently I had um, gone through something very emotional, so it became hard for me to fully disclose things with people, and it was hard for me to trust again. So when I formed this new friendship, that kind of caused a lot of conflict within our um, relationship. So um, the tensions led to many fights, and it was not very fun. So during Thanksgiving break, we had to do a 7-day relationship journal challenge. Um, I chose to work on being more open than closed, and I also had myself work on listening to what my friend Domani had to say instead of just hearing her, which listening is fully understanding what the person is saying, while hearing is just you hear what they're saying, but you don't completely understand their message. And I also put myself in her shoes because um, I realized that if she was doing this to me, I would be very upset and why aren't you trusting me and telling me all this stuff, and why did I have to find out about it from someone else? So that's why I put myself in her shoes, and it wasn't about how I felt about her. She was my best friend after all. It was just about me letting my guard down and expressing myself. Um, Although we had a very strong relationship, the changes I made about my attitude and expressing myself allowed us to grow closer to each other, and I expect that change to continue in the future. Some conclusions that I can draw from this challenge is that instead of just fighting about our problems, we actually learn to talk through them. And she had no idea that I was doing this 7-day challenge. She was just happy that I was actually sitting there and listening to her talk, and me giving her feedback about everything, because she was going through a tough time too during Thanksgiving. So having her share everything that's going on in her life helped me open up and tell her everything that was going on in my life. Um, and like I said, I actually listened to what Domani had to say instead of just hearing words come out of her mouth and me just being distracted about either my phone or social media or stuff going on at home. Um, And we also understood that when we asked for space that week, that we gave it to each other. So like if she asked to not talk for a day, then I respected that and we didn't talk for that day. In the future, I hope to continue the changes that I made during our 7-day journal challenge. I will continue to fully listen to her, and she will continue to fully listen to me, even though I was the one that had the problem more so than she did. We both promised each other that we would stop making premature conclusions about a problem that is going on in our life, and we also agreed that we would give each other space when we asked, which is what we did over the 7-day journal. And because of this, our relationship has grown a lot closer, and we recognize the baggage and barriers we both have, and we were able to use our similarities to begin a strong relationship. After almost 4 years of friendship, we are still learning how to communicate with each other. As we begin and continue to understand each other better, we communicate more effectively, which in turn allows for better friendship to form. In conclusion, I've learned a lot about the 7-day journal and from this class. I have learned how to maintain a friendship with being open and trusting. This friendship will not be taken for granted, and because of the changes I made within this friendship, it will open up a vast range of friends for me in college and in the rest of my life. These 2 quotes I found, I feel, are very true to my relationship with Domani. The first one is, "Friends are the siblings God never gave us." And the second one is, "A real friend is one who walks in when the rest of the world walks out." Domani has been here through thick and thin, and I don't know what I would do without her.